Welcome back everybody, thank you for watching another video. Today we're going to be comparing the Sig P365Xl against Taurus's new budget CCW option, the GX4. Now, to start off with, these are on the exact opposite ends of the pricing spectrum. The P365 with the Romeo Zero runs about $750, and you're going to be able to find the new GX4 for just about $350. So the question is it worth that big of a price difference to go with the Sig over the Taurus? Let's have a closer look. All right, let's have a look at the sights that come with the Sig. So first of all, we're going to see that it is milled out for a red dot, so that's a big plus. The difficulty is if you're going to buy the package with the Romeo Zero, they don't give you the replacement plate that has the rear sight on it. So if you're going to use a red dot on the Sig, you don't maintain your rear irons. And that's, to me, a major disadvantage, especially if you're going to be paying $750 for a pistol. Now, on the back of the Sig Romeo Zero, they did mill out a small little notch here to help you line up your front sight so you can co-witness. But if this goes down, malfunction, if it breaks, battery dies, whatever, you don't really have a rear sight to help you line up that front sight post. So big plus having it milled out for a red dot, but major disadvantage because you don't have a backup iron sight to help you co-witness with this awesome front True Glow tritium sight. And over to the GX4. Again, this is going to be your basic budget setup. You have a rear blacked out serrated U-notch back here. No milling for a red dot. Up front, just a simple white dot. Now, the good thing about this setup, though, is that they are Glock sight compatible. So there is a ton of other sights that you can replace these with. All right, let's get these back to back. And we already know that the 365XL is going to be a little bit longer. That's why it's called the XL. Thickness-wise, though, we're going to see here the Sig is a little bit thinner. Okay, it's a little bit thinner. Let's have a look at the beveling work. I know the Sig has a slant bevel here that's really nice, and it goes right up to this nice angled bevel up here in the front. So this is going to help you avoid snagging when you're holstering. The Taurus has the same thing, except it's a little bit more rounded off. So here's that slant bevel here, but it's more rounded. It's not as sharp. The beveling is more rounded. And if you look at the front, both of these have no Picatinny accessory rail in the front. So there's the GX4. And here is the Sig P365 in the front. So no accessory, no Picatinny accessory rails in the front. And of course, what's coming more popular on all pistols are front and rear cocking serrations. Really helpful when you're trying to rack that slide and your hands a little bit sweaty, a little bit slippery. So beautifully done on the Sig. There's a look at what they look like on the GX4. All right. So again, front and rear cocking serrations. Both of these pistols have very elongated and large trigger guards. I appreciate that because, again, if you have gloves on and you have a small trigger guard, you won't be able to sneak your finger in there. It'll just be not enough space in there. So I like the fact that it's a nice elongated trigger guard. Here's a look at the Taurus. Again, very elongated trigger guard. Really thick too here on the Taurus. I think the Sig might be a little bit thinner. A little bit thinner on the Sig. A very robust trigger guard there on the GX4. One of the main reasons I love the 365XL is the grip on this thing. It's nice, beautiful palm swell. It's not too aggressive. The texturing also not crazy aggressive. There's the front strap. Have a look at the back strap so we can see the thickness back here. So again, not overly thick, not overly aggressive texture. I love this palm swell. Look how far it goes into the grip, and there is a legitimate beaver tail on here. Look how deep this goes into the web of my hand. It's very easy to get maximum control to really handle the muzzle rise on the 365XL. I love how that feels. Also, a very big upsweep under this trigger guard will allow your middle finger to move all the way up on the grip so your whole hand can fit on that. I know everybody's hands are a little bit different, but look at that. I got all my fingers on there. Maximum control. Love the grip on the P365XL. I also love the grip on the GX4 as well. The texture, again, not too aggressive, but still gritty enough so that if your hands sweat, you're not going to be sliding all over the place. It's perfect, right in that Goldilocks zone, just like the Sig. Big palm swell here. The grip is thicker this way and this way versus the Sig. We're going to have a look at that in just a second. This palm swell can change as well. They give you another back strap if you wanted to punch it out and change it. But I love the way, because of this palm swell, goes deep into the grip. I just wish it had a beaver tail in there, but you still get a pretty decent grip on it in the web of your hand. And when shooting it, I feel like I can get maximum control on there to control that muzzle rise. The only thing is, even with this upsweep here under the trigger guard, this undercut, I still can't get all of my fingers on the grip itself with the 11 round magazine. The 13 rounder, no problem, but you can kind of see how it's hanging off there. So if you have larger hands, I don't know, maybe you want to carry that 13 rounder around. All right, let's get these back to back again. Pay attention to how thick it is this way, how big this palm swell is, and how thick the grip is that way versus the Sig. Okay, there we go. Just see how big, so much thicker, bigger palm swell. Gonna turn it around this way so we can see the difference in the thickness this way. You can see that the Taurus grip definitely is a little bit chunkier. One other small thing about the grips I thought I'd point out is you can see it here that you have a flared out magwell. So it's going to be a little bit easier to guide your magazines into the Sig versus the Taurus that does not have a flared magwell. Alright, let's have a look at the controls on the Sig. We can see here, very clean design. There's no manual thumb safety back here, but a very clean design. That is your slide catch release here. That's your takedown lever, and that's all that's in there. Very tight to the frame. Oh, look at that. Beautifully done. Very clean. So if you like clean lines, check out the GX4. There literally is only the slide stop catch on there. Look how beautiful that is. So tight to the frame. Nice serrations on both of these too. Like, it's very easy to grab it and drop it. I will give the edge slightly to the GX4 though. The serrations on there are a little bit more aggressive than that you find on here, but this has a decent ledge, so it's still very easy to send that slide home. But nice and tight to the frame there. And if you're wondering where the takedown lever is, it's on this side of the GX4, but I'll go over that a little bit later. And just to go over the takedown procedure now, you're going to need the included keychain or a flathead screwdriver to put right into that takedown screw. If you want to see the video I made on how to take it down, I'll leave a link for it right up here. But some people may not like the fact that you need a separate tool to take this pistol down. Alright, the Sig comes with two 12-round magazines. Only bummer about these is sometimes they can be hard to find. Second, they're really expensive. Third, for the price that you pay for them, they're not very durable. So this section here where the coating is coming off, I've seen these rust. And as much as you're paying for these, they shouldn't do that. With the GX4, you get two 11-round Mech-Gar magazines. And the great thing about these is that they're available everywhere and they're super affordable. And if you wanted to change the 11-rounder to a 13-rounder, you can do that two ways. You can buy the conversion kit, or you can just buy a 13-round magazine. So it's an 11-rounder with a 2-round extension. Another little detail about the GX4 is that they cut out the grip itself and they put a little cut out on the base of the magazine. So if for whatever reason the magazine gets stuck and you need to tug on it, there's room there for your fingers to dig into. So there's a look at what the grip looks like on the bottom of the grip, and there's a look at the bottom of the base pad. So a nice little touch there. All right, next up, let's have a look at these magazine release buttons. Now this is beautifully designed. I love how that looks. The problem is for me where the positioning is. So when I punch the magazine button and it pops out on this end, it hits me right in the middle of my middle finger, so I can't release it. It blocks the button from releasing the magazine. So as you can see here, I can't get it. I got to move my hand around this way, and now I can get it. So that's a little bit of a disadvantage for my hands versus the GX4. Here's a look at that. Again, it's a triangle design, very similar, very flush to the frame. But here, I can get that wherever. Right, you can see right there there's a space. With the Sig, it's over here, right in the middle of my middle finger. But with the GX4, for me, the magazine release is much easier for me to get to, so I can do my one-handed magazine drops and reload. All right, let's see how chubby these are. A little bit unfair because the Sig does have the red dot on there. Still, though, man, look at that. 1 pound, 1.9 ounces. And I just already know the Taurus is going to be a little bit heavier. 1 pound, 2.6 ounces. And to be fair, the Romeo Zero weighs almost nothing. It's a polymer sight, but still, Sig is a lot lighter. All right, let's have a look at these triggers now. First thing you're going to notice on the Sig is there is no trigger safety and there is no manual safety, so it's just the trigger. Second is, look how flat that is. Flat, very thick trigger, and it catches right about at 90 degrees. Now, the trigger itself is a little bit spongy, but because of the lightness, it's really fun to shoot. Okay, here we go. There's a take up. All right. This is going to have a very strong reset. It's going to kick my finger out there. Okay. Back on that. Saw how spongy and muted that was. We'll do one more. Okay. Take up. Here's the reset. That's a beautiful reset. All right, so not bad. Let's have a look at the GX4. Probably one of the nicest triggers I've ever felt on any gun. Like, it's up there with Canic, Walther PPQ, and I'd say CZ. It's amazing what they've done with this. This is an all-new platform, too. If you're wondering where the GX4 came from, this is a newly designed platform, and they really did great work on this trigger. Okay, so there's your bladed safety trigger. Again, flat like the Sig. A lot of space for your finger to sit on. And let's have a look at this take-up. That's it. I promise you, there's nothing jammed in the pistol. That's the take-up. And from here, there's nothing. That's it. Here's the reset. Shocking. Okay, I'm back on it again. It's a little bit heavier of a trigger, but it breaks like glass. There's not a lot of reset, not a lot of take up. It's not mushy at all. That's it, guys. We'll do one more. That's amazing. All right, here's the reset. That's a $350 pistol, guys. Here it is. Staggering how good that trigger is. All right, let's measure how heavy the trigger pull here is on the Sig. Okay, first pull. 4 pounds, 15.5 ounces. Told you guys, on the lighter side, a little bit spongy, but really fun to use. Okay, here's a second pull. Ooh, almost dropped that. Here we go. Second pull. 4 pounds, 13.7 ounces. Okay, last pull on the Sig. All right. 4 pounds, 10.4 ounces. I know the GX4 is going to be heavier. All right, first pull GX4. 6 pounds, 10.5 ounces. Yeah, it's supposed to be more towards 6 pounds. So let's see if we can get a little bit lower than that. Just going to keep pulling here. Pull number 2. There we go. 6 pounds, 2 ounces. That's a little bit better. Last pull, GX4. Coming in at 5 pounds, 12 ounces. Yeah, I would say right around the 6 pound mark. All right, so what are my final thoughts here on the Sig P365 versus the Taurus GX4? Well, let's see. I love how this feels. The Sig P365 is thin, it's lightweight, it just melts in your hand, it's easy to control. The trigger's really good. It's a little bit mushy, but very light, as we've seen. But it's just so much money. This package with the Romeo Zero is $750. You're going to be able to find this for $350. Awesome trigger, feels great in the hand, shoots real well. I just can't mathematically justify spending that much money on a self-defense pistol where if you do have to defend yourself, this goes away. They're going to take it from you and you'll probably never see it again. So for that fact, I would have to go with the GX4. It's just, it's so much of a better value. Now, maybe if this package costs like $650, maybe I would say $600. I might consider it, but the value is so good. I would have to stick with the GX4. So I guess the next question is, what if there was something that was around the same price with no dot, like the Shield? All right, guys, stick around next time. We're going to be comparing the Taurus GX4 against the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus.